Offside episode 11. We are back with another episode and a very good game week for the United fans, I think. Um, Not so good game week for Chelsea, Arsenal. Arsenal still to play Monday. We'll go over that game. United play tomorrow again, new manager. The London Derby today. We're going to talk about that. Um, Hopefully, expect Liverpool and City to drop points today, or Chelsea lose their top spot at the table. I think we should start with Chelsea because we just got done with that game. I'll start first. To be honest, I think it was a very sloppy game from Chelsea, right from the keeper to the defense to the strikers. I think Mendy. I've given Mendy a lot of credit over the last episodes, and I think it's fair to give him some criticism over the last two games. I think he's been shaky. He's made some errors that have led up to goals. Um, his positioning today also was caught off from the winning goal. I think he could have done better there. Also the defense was, I think, besides Thiago Silva, I think we've looked pretty shaky at the back as well. Without Conte and maybe even Kovacic in that pivot, I think whoever's come into that pivot hasn't looked up to par. Um, and for me personally, like when I look at the Watford game, we didn't play well, but we scraped through with the 3 points. And I think when you're challenging for the title, those are the type of games that come about, but somehow you have to pull off wins and take the 3 points. We couldn't do that today, and we've dropped a big 3 points because we have City and Liverpool right at our neck. And for me, that's why I've had City as the favorite and not Chelsea, because even though I expect Chelsea to compete for the title this season, I think when it comes, like when you compare City and Chelsea, City, whoever comes in, right? Whoever comes into that midfield performance, whether it's Bernardo Silva, whether it's Mahrez, whether it's Sterling, whoever comes in, it's like they never missed a beat, right? But when you look at Chelsea now with the players that come in, they're just not up to par. Like Loftus-Cheek in the pivot hasn't been good enough. Saul had a terrible game against Watford. Alonso is just not good enough to be a left back, and we can see why Chilwell is so crucial to the team. So for me, just the key players for Chelsea staying fit is what's going to determine how far we can compete in this title race, because I think our squad depth is there, but the quality and depth isn't there, and that's an issue for me. So I'll leave it with the Chelsea boys to continue on the Chelsea game, and then we can carry on.
Just one more.
Can I ask some questions?
Yeah.
Once we're done.
But who was your striker for team of the season? Remind me.
Antonio.
Yeah. What happened today, bro?
Was he not good?
No, he was. He was
probably fantastic, mate.
And that's why he was in my team of the season.
I know. I just wanted to make sure that
no, he's a unit, man. He gives people problems. We know that. He created all sorts of problems for us today, and which I expected from him. So
he's an absolute bully.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He absolutely is.
Bully.
Yeah.
He's just he plays the way Lukaku should play. He's a bully. Like he's like to Hudson Odoi, for that for the assist. Oh, no, he didn't actually score.
He just missed.
He had no right to get that ball.
Yeah.
He had no right.
He's a nuisance, man. Nuisance.
He's upped his game.
He's such a
much.
nuisance.
He's made fine tweaks to his game, and he's become like such a good all-round striker now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a target man. He can get into the box. He can put the ball there for the other players who are running in. He's really developed his all-round game. But coming into today's game, I don't know. So much to say. I think we went 1-0 up, gave away an absolute howler of a goal. Absolute blunder from Mendy. Has to be criticized for that. There are some times when you just have to boot the ball out. I mean, you can be great with your feet. You can be great at playing out balls. But there are certain times when you just have to boot the ball out. And it wasn't like he didn't have the chance. Yes, he was being closed down, but he had a couple of chances where he could just boot the ball out instead of like trying to keep it at his feet. They come back into the game, and then we go 2-1 up, and we just didn't manage the game from there. We are absolutely missing Kovacic. We saw that in the game against Watford. We tried to play out the back. We just didn't have that outlet. So even we didn't have Jorginho. We had Saul had a terrible game. We didn't have that outlet to play at the back. We discussed this earlier when we were discussing other teams playing three at the back, and why Chelsea are so good at it is because they have Jorginho and Kovacic, and they're both so good at keeping the ball. And they give the defenders those options to play at the back, which we were missing in the Watford game. Credit to Watford though, they played really well. And then freak Masuaku goal. I mean, I don't think I can criticize Mendy too much on that, because you are wrong-footed. You're absolutely not expecting the ball to go to the near post. You're always waiting for that cross. So I think it was positioned pretty well. I think it was a cross by Masuaku. I don't think he intended to shoot the ball from there. I mean, who's to say?
It was a cross. It's the worst cross.
Oh my days, Liverpool.
It was he was right-footed, right? It was a right-footed cross.
Oh, Liverpool. Jota just missed an open goal. That's a mad block. Connor Cody, let's go. There's no goalkeeper. Mad.
But
anyways,
if that was a goal by Masuaku, that's the confidence to take that strike from there. That was. Oh my
celebration
God.
says it all. I don't think he really meant it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's any chance that he's looking for beating Mendy at the near post. Anyway,
Mendy had to do better for me, man, with that shot.
It's hard because he's wrong-footed. Because he's obviously.
No, he needs to kick it first time. He needs to clear that first time.
No, I'm talking about
he got possession.
No, I'm talking
about.
Masuaku.
Oh, okay.
The wonder goal. And we look shaky at the back. I don't know what it's been, whether it's this, especially Christensen as well on the right-hand side. I don't know whether it's this new contract talk that's being stalled or whatever it is. He's not been.
He looks shaky. He looks shaky.
Overall, we look shaky. RLC as well. So I don't know. We need Kovacic back. We need Conte back, and we need. I think we're doing well with Havertz. As long as Havertz was there, there was like some good link-up play. We had a lot of chances. But once he went off, Lukaku came in. Didn't really have much of the ball. Didn't really see him do much. But yeah, all I'm saying is that we need to pull our socks up. Just be there to capitalize when Liverpool and City drop points. They don't look like
it's only our third loss this season.
Yeah.
Let us our second in the league,
Mm-hmm.
but the level is so high that if you guys remember 2 seasons ago, Liverpool had lost one game all season, and they lost the league by 1 point.
Yeah. That's why.
Just one game. That's the level that Chelsea is up against, and you just cannot afford to drop points.
Yeah. And that is why I said that Burnley game will come to haunt us at some point. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I hope we just still stay behind Chelsea. Because, look, they're going to drop points as well. It's a long season. There's a lot of games to go, 24 games to go. So they're going to drop points. We just have to make sure we don't fall too far behind. Like, we don't
the league is next level right now, though. Like, even if we're talking 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, like,
they're
all those teams are still kind of like, I don't think the top 3 is going to deviate from City, Liverpool, Chelsea, but all the teams behind are like very, very close. Like West Ham,
all competing for that 4th spot.
We will be competing for the 4th spot, but I think in the next 2 or 3 seasons, that top 3 is going to be broken up. Just with how the rest of the league is starting to do.
Yes, there are going to be teams that come in and out of it over the course of the seasons, but I mean, let's say the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Guys, we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow him to say that Arsenal could possibly.
I didn't say.
I'm not going to allow it.
Wait, hold on.
We'll get to Arsenal. Can we get done with Chelsea first? Let's get done with the.
Let's finish Chelsea, and then you can smile all you want. Whatever.
I want to get all this in the part where I
just suggested that Arsenal could possibly crack the top 4.
Oh man, you're gonna
SHEGZ,
be so sad.
What if they do it this season? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'm gonna replay this laugh of SHEGZ if they do it this season.
Listen. You can clip me. You can clip me. They are not. Arsenal is not getting top 4. They have too weak of a squad. No way.
Maranol. We're discussing Chelsea, bro. We're discussing Chelsea. We'll get
just to add to that. If you want to clip anything, I'm just saying.
Jithin, what are your thoughts on the game? And then we'll move on to these guys' thoughts so far. And you're on mute. You're on mute.
What are we talking about?
The Chelsea game.
Chelsea's weak.
Which game? Last game I remember was against Juventus, I think. Because we've been trash all the games. The game against United, I'm not happy. The game against Watford, we got lucky. Game against West Ham. No, that one mistake, bro. You don't do those mistakes.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I don't care. Finished. That's trash for me. Watford, we were so disappointing. We didn't deserve to win. Maybe a draw was the result we deserved. West Ham, I'm so happy we lost this game because I don't know. I feel like they have to pick their sock up. I'm being too harsh, but no, it was such a disappointing game.
You're just happy that Spurs won. Just don't lie.
I'll come to that later. My point being, no, you cannot.
Your Spurs fan TV guy right here.
You cannot concede goals like this, man.
Absolutely.
Okay, other than Bowen's goal, we could have maybe defended a little better. Antonio got the header so easily. I don't know. I think it's Kufal Anton. I don't know. These things are not supposed to happen to the best defense. It's surprising when you say a 36-year-old is playing better than the 10 players on the team. You know, there was only Silva and Mount today. Silva and Mount. No one else. Everyone else was disappointing. So I don't want to talk about this game. But
No.
Everyone
Ziyech was so good.
Ziyech was good, but I'm saying if I really
Mount
had
was
to pick,
pretty
I would
good
literally
too.
pick only Mount and Silva.
Yeah.
Ziyech put a beautiful ball in, but it's Mount's finish, whatever said and done. And Fabianski's, I think he should have saved it in the near post, but the volley was too good. Anyways, I don't want to talk about this game.
I will say though, like if you look at your results against the other top 4, top 5 teams, they haven't been there. Like, I mean, I guess you drew Liverpool, right? But
we drew Liverpool. We lost.
We lost to City. Yeah.
So like you've only beat Arsenal in the top 5. You didn't beat City. You didn't beat United. You didn't beat City. So like, we're gonna find out.
I thought you were saying top 4.
United are 8th right now, bro. What are you talking
about? Aren't they 6th?
No, they're 8th.
No, Tottenham is 6th, right?
No.
They're still okay. Everything is
irrespective.
All of that stuff is by like 1 point though. So like, I think you can't like. They're still in the top 4 race. Everyone's still there. Like pretty much top 8 are in the top 4 race.
Yeah.
So.
Sure.
I'm just saying, like your results against those teams have also been kind of suspect.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, absolutely, agree with that.
I got a few things, by the way, also for whenever we're ready for Chelsea. A few chinks in the armor. Listen,
we're heading over.
Can we ask
other Londoner quickly? The Arsenal man to give us his review on the Chelsea game before the guys from Manchester descend.
I have no opinion. I've already spoken what I've had to say about that Chelsea game. Like they didn't play. They haven't played well in the last few games. I can't really speak about it because my team hasn't done too well recently. So I'm sure they'll pick it up again once they get healthy. But I'm on to bigger, better things.
Hey, listen, it's all analysis, so it's all good, It's just finding an opinion on what you think. So it's not like just because Arsenal are doing bad, you cannot critique another team.
Still, I'm on to bigger, better things right now. I think what we need to do as a group is to move on, is to watch, get that incense and wash away
There's
the
no
tweet.
group here.
I think
the factions have been made.
But
go ahead, United guys.
Sorry, how much have I dislike Arsenal? I think they're playing some good football, by the way. And
someone get this guy off the Chelsea panel. Yeah, this guy's supporting Spurs. This guy's supporting Arsenal. Everyone except Chelsea.
Guys, stop, guys. But they're playing really good football. They have a good bunch of players. They're not taking their chances. Maybe they're not showing the light. But I think they're a very talented squad. And
they're on the right track.
I wanted to say that because I've never said it about Arsenal because I think they have a really good squad. And I agree with Bert when he said it. I think Bert, or I don't know if it was Bert or SHEGZ.
Yeah, it was Bert.
It wasn't.
No, guys, no, stop it, guys.
I remember SHEGZ.
It was me.
No. SHEGZ said that He only said that because United were trash that time, and he had no choice.
He said it on the one episode that Kunaal didn't show up.
Guys,
that's probably, yeah, that was it. I was watching back. I was like, why aren't you this nice to my face, bro?
I am. I think Arsenal are. You know what? Let's not talk about Arsenal just yet. Let's finish off Chelsea.
It is with the Chelsea info. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
So look,
SHEGZ, you want to go first?
Yeah, go on then. If I'm
okay, fine. No, listen. The past, I think in the last 5 games, you guys have only got like 8 points, and it's not a good sign. Honestly, beginning with the Watford game, Sal looked really, really bad in that game. I mean, obviously you guys got the win, but I think I honestly think his days are numbered at Chelsea. I don't think he gets in the team at all whatsoever. Obviously, you guys go ahead, get the win, because at the end of the day, it's about getting the results. Mount had a decent game. Ziyech comes through. But I think they were really poor in that game. But as I said, you guys won through. And I think what you guys are really missing, there's a balance issue in your midfield that you're missing right now. And I think you're definitely highly missing Kante sitting next to Jorginho. Kovacic too. I think Loftus-Cheek makes too many mistakes for me, or I don't think he covers enough ground across the midfield that possibly a Kante could be doing. And I think even today, I feel like Jorginho was left by himself a lot more. And I feel he's a little bit isolated when Kova is not there or Kante is there, is not there, basically. So I think you're really missing him. What's another thing that's of concern is, and I know we talked about it, I think a month ago, whenever we said, okay, what happens when Lukaku comes back? I think the game changed a lot after that Havertz injury. And they said Werner was warming up, but Tuchel selected Lukaku to come in. I think that was a wrong decision for me in that half, because I think you guys have been performing a lot better with like a false 9 position. Because once Lukaku came in, I felt the ball wasn't fluid enough. And I think, remember, we were discussing that if Lukaku comes in, I don't think the fluidity is going to be there. And that's exactly what happened. I think there was no fluidity. And then, obviously, I think West Ham just wanted it more. Christensen, I know we touched on him. Speaking of him struggling in defense, I think I looked through all the stats, and West Ham beat Chelsea on all the duels won, basically. Even on the aerial duels, I don't think Christensen won any duels. And for him, what's he, like 6'5", 6'6", and he was going against Mikel Antonio, who we already talked about. That guy's a nuisance. He played really well. He was just there giving what he was doing was winning the ball back, and Bowen was doing all the running here and there, picking up the ball, all the scraps. Yeah, man, this guy is really stepping up. Bowen is yeah, I'd say so. He was everywhere. And I think their midfield really worked hard. Lanzini worked really hard. Souček, he didn't make as many runs in the ball, other than at the start of the game, there was a header I think he had.
Yeah.
But I think all of them.
He's highly underrated. He deserves more credit.
Yeah. I'd really like his game, Souček. He has a decent, for a big man, he has a good touch on the ball too. And I think he's very quick. He's very decisive. So that's something nice to see from a big player like that. I think also you guys, from the start of the game, I felt like Chelsea came in with a little too much arrogance and overconfidence, like how they were playing. I mean, the first, I think, 5 or 7 minutes, Thiago Silva made like 2 mistakes that could have gone the other way, honestly. There was a header, I think, and then one kind of chip ball where it deflected off Bowen. But, I mean, on another day, maybe a better team scores those goals. But you'll start off a bit shaky. You'll get back into the game. You score the goal. Thiago Silva gets the goal. You'll come back into the game. And then, obviously, Jorginho with the error. But still, I felt you guys were in control. But after the second half, my main thing is Havertz went off and Lukaku came in. I felt the whole dynamic of the game changed, and also the intensity. I mean, then again, it's at the West Ham Stadium, and the intensity over there. It's one of the hardest stadiums to play at. But if you are aiming for the Premier League title, these are the kind of games you need to win and scrape out. And it just looked like West Ham wanted it more. And you guys absolutely need Chilwell back, okay, because Alonso is struggling, honestly. Chilwell needs to be back, and Kante. I think those two are two of your main players. By the way, where's Azpilicueta? Is he hurt?
No,
he's coming back from an injury, but he's gonna. There are so many games coming up now. Like it was 3 games in the span of one week, and now we're traveling to Russia midweek. So Chalobah had a hamstring, but he'll be back. I think like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah,
like that. Kovacic is close to coming back as well. So
absolutely no, but this is the thing. In the past like 3 games, your defense has been looking consistently like they're. We were talking, I think, a month ago that, Chelsea's defense had only conceded 3 goals right after I said it.
Yeah.
After those games, all of a sudden, there's a chink in their armor.
Yeah, we conceded 4 and 12, and now we've conceded 4 and 3 or 5.
Because it's been a lot of chopping and changing, and like I said, this team hasn't proved that when those replacements come in, they can do the same job as the first. Like if you look at the last game, that whole the whole middle line, like the 2 wing backs and the 2 in the pivot, were all replaced. There was no Reece James. The pivot was Saul and Loftus-Cheek, and then the left back was Alonso, which is completely miles off from who our first 11 quality.
Would you agree that Saul is a flop though? Because even in that Watford game, there was no awareness. No anticipation.
Yeah, I mean, we just got him on a loan.
Where the ball is.
Yeah. We got him on a loan just in case.
I'm just happy we took him on loan because he was.
He's not a permanent.
And we didn't.
He's struggling, right?
Because he's struggling. And he was in a decline at Atletico already. He hasn't found that confidence yet. I think they expected him to come in and maybe do a little bit of a better job, even though he was brought in just as a backup, because you can see the injuries now in midfield. Chalobah, who also plays DM, has gone out of midfield. Jorginho was out. Kante, Kovacic out. So the entire midfield was gone basically. At one point, we're probably going to see Barkley in the midfield. It's probably going to get that bad. It's crazy.
Your midfield really looked off. That Watford game especially, you guys really looked off in midfield, just imbalance. But that almost carried onto this game. And what was the consistent thing within both games was actually Loftus-Cheek. And that's where I was thinking, listen, there's some sort of imbalance with him. I think he needs to be playing higher up the field, honestly.
I think the issue comes from who he plays alongside with. Because if he was paired alongside Kante, who could sweep up, or Kovacic, who's so good at retaining and carrying the ball, it allows Loftus-Cheek that freedom where he doesn't have one eye over his shoulder. Like, can this guy cover me? Do I have, if I lose the ball, right?
Yep.
So if you look at the confidence he was playing with when Kante was covering
him, was there,
it's a huge difference. So
agreed.
Same thing with Jorginho and whoever plays alongside Kante, man. Kante makes such a big difference.
And also, Kovacic as well, because, Kovacic is not only, of course, he's great, but he can carry the ball forward too.
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
you need that. With Aaron,
Ruben Loftus-Cheek,
and
he doesn't lose the ball, man.
Exactly.
His ball retention is high.
Exactly. So that's also very important when you're playing out the back. But yeah, as I said, I'm just hoping that we don't fall back too far behind.
No, but as Jithin said, I think you guys just need to focus back again. I think there was so much hype coming from how good Chelsea was, because even if you see Reece James' performances, I think after the past, as soon as he had the starts and he was having the goals, I feel like it's gone to his head because his performances are not been to the standard that I expected. I mean, he's in my FPL team, but
but the thing is, when you set such high standards as a player, and when you have a couple of games. You're not going to perform every game. You're not going to have goals every game. You're not going to have assists every game. So when you don't have that, because when you don't have those goals and assists, people tend to say the performance is not that great because you've been scoring so many goals.
Yeah.
I think we should be okay as long as we just pull our socks up, get back in training.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like the hype went to his head or something. I think the hype went to his head. That's what I meant. I don't think it's major things to worry about. I just think the way from the start of the game, how y'all approached it, it was just because the passes to me were really lazy. That back pass from Jorginho is very lazy.
I'm saying
that Thiago pass,
right.
Exactly. And that's how you can read the game. If you can see if a team is come to play or they're not. And those first 2 things were you know what? This is going to be a dogfight kind of deal, because I felt you all just expected West Ham to roll over. Like, we're Chelsea, we're top of the league, we don't concede many goals, we're just gonna walk over them. We beat Juventus 4-0. Like, this is us, you know. So, but I think it's a little worry, especially your forward line is not scoring as much. I mean, Lukaku, Werner. I think for me that's a big concern. I don't know about you guys. What is your views on that? Because I don't think there's a lot of goals coming from your forward lines. All the goals are coming from midfield, defenders,
or defense.
Yeah, from the wing backs and stuff, man. It's true,
Yes.
and like a lot from set pieces and stuff like that, which the strikers at some point, like something has to give. They have to start scoring. We can't be missing these chances, because if they're serious about competing for the title, it has to come, man. So, but yeah.
Let me now jump in with my take on the Chelsea game.
It's already blushing.
Oh yes, fantastic! Wow, amazing, fantastic. So let's talk about today's game since it's fresh in the mind. Look, I actually don't think. I think I really like Loftus-Cheek. To me, he looks like Pogba without the passing range, but he's more steady on the ball, you know. But he's got the same flaws as Pogba, which is that he doesn't work hard defensively. I think he just needs like what your midfield needs is a Jorginho with a runner, which is what Kovacic and Kante bring. They run up and down, defense and offense. Whereas Loftus-Cheek doesn't have that hard work rate going back. I think that's the issue. I think Jorginho played a Jorginho game. I think he was as good as he's ever going to be. I think Christensen just couldn't live with the pace and the strength of Antonio.
Yeah.
He just and if you watch what kept happening, Antonio kept going to the wing to go and fight with Christensen only. He didn't bother trying to fight Rudiger or that, and he just kept popping up on the wings, always on Christensen's side, all the time, because he knew he could bully him, and that's what that's what he did. I think West Ham, they were not the better team. I think that they just took their chances. If you get it, because on the balance of the whole game, Chelsea actually played quite well. They created a lot of chances.
Yeah.
Even in the second half when Lukaku was on, I know you guys said the link-up play wasn't there, but but West Ham were pinned so far back because they were so scared of Lukaku, because he was always in the right place at the right time, just that the ball never got to him. And that was the real issue with them. I think Chelsea actually had a decent game. I think West Ham just had one of those games where everything just worked out. Like Masuaku will never score that goal again in his career.
No.
In fact, most players in their career will never score that goal.
Chelsea allowed them into the game. They just
that's what really
exactly
goals. Right?
You know what I mean. So like the Masuaku one, the one from Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen doesn't score that every day. He doesn't play it that low, so firm. Bert, and then it went through Christian.
Yeah, but
it just doesn't happen.
That goal is okay. I mean, we just allowed them back into the game, especially with the Mendy mistake. We just allowed them back into the game.
Yeah.
The stadium got behind them, and of course, they're playing at the London Stadium. The fans were getting behind them. You know, it gives that extra push. Basically, our management of the game was terrible.
Yeah, and that's what my concern was with them having Hudson-Odoi at left wing back, because that's only once we were 2-2. We were 10 minutes to go. We were going for the win. And I understand taking Alonso off. I understand, but that's what I'm saying. But I still think you don't do that, because they were in the ascendancy. They were really good on the counterattack. In the past, I feel in the past few games, your defense in the counterattack has been really bad. And if you saw, that's all West Ham were doing. Like in that counterattack that they were doing was always coming down that side.
To be fair, they didn't score a goal off like a counter, right? I mean, that's a free goal.
They almost did, but most of their chances were almost that. If there was a better team, and that's where my point is. I feel like y'all consistently are not as unpenetrable in the counterattack as you were before. Because before there was always mopping up, but now I feel like in the past few games you've been seeing that.
I agree.
They are missing a lot of key players though.
2-2 at 80 minutes. Yeah, I want to see a change that a manager makes that goes for the win. I mean, I was okay with that change because I want to see him make a change that.
And Alonso looked gassed, man.
Alonso looked gassed.
No, but then change the formation then. I just think it was too much of a risk. That's all I'm saying, you know. I think it was unfair to him.
Who do you play at left back? I mean, you're taking Alonso off, and if you change formation, who do you play at left back?
Yeah.
No.
I thought he was doing good at left wing too.
No, he was okay. He wasn't doing well. He was okay.
Yeah, I think one, the system was never going to change because Tuchel sticks to his lines. But I think the real issue was it showed the fragility of somebody like Mendy. Now he's a bit like a Pogba mentality as well. If the team's up, he's up and he's making saves. But the moment he cracked with that full save, he then signed some wayward clearances.
It plays on your mind. It plays on your mind. That's a big mistake.
Does. So he lost his edge, and I think that's where you lost the game. But you know, like I said, the goals were, I don't know, they wouldn't score that normally. I think West Ham played above their level today, and they really, I don't think they can sustain that.
We're saying, maybe they won't sustain it, but you have to give them credit because they have
100%. Exactly. Which is why I didn't want to spend too much time sort of talking about why how bad Chelsea were. I think Chelsea were like average. They weren't great.
Were fine.
They were fine, but West Ham.
No, they were good. I thought Chelsea were good.
Yeah,
they made mistakes.
Sloppy errors that you cannot make if you're competing for the title, man.
And that's what Tuchel said in his post-game interview as well. He's like, we cannot make individual errors like the one against United, like the one today. If you're going to make those errors, you cannot expect to compete at the highest level.
Yeah,
that's a fair
guys. We've been talking about Chelsea for like 40 minutes. I feel like we should.
No, but it's their first like true L, except like Burnley. It's their first like true L of the season. So I think
I think drawing to United was their first L of the season.
No, that Burnley game still haunts me, man. That Burnley game.
Hey, man. Kunaal, you about to get cooked, bro. Kunaal's about to get cooked, man.
Don't worry about that.
This is a nice transition into Arsenal United.
Take it away, guys. Take it away.
I knew it was coming already, so I had to start it. I knew you were going to go for the banter.
Now the floor is all yours. Take it away.
All right.
Okay.
That was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen.
No, it was. You guys weren't bad. No.
We were okay. So my biggest issue with Arteta teams right now is as soon as they go up one, they kind of just stop. They let teams press you. And you guys aren't like that good of a pressing team. Under whoever you are, you're not a good pressing team. And
except against Arsenal though.
No, because we let you press. That was the thing. It's just like we're just like, oh, let's just sit back here. Let bring on the pressure. Let one of the best strikers in the world just freaking start lacing them in. And you know, he's not the striker of the season or anything, but like Ronaldo is like a type of player to make magic out of nothing. And Bruno, because usually we get under Bruno's skin. That's the thing we've been doing for the last like I don't know. How many games is unbeaten since we've until this one? Was it 7 games unbeaten until we played this one?
I think
against
8.
United.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, but who have y'all played? Who have you guys played?
No, I'm talking about against you guys, against United, Arsenal against.
Yeah. You guys have a good record against us.
And I always say the team that's in worse shape at the moment ends up winning between United and Arsenal. Like whoever's more down in the dumps, that's the team that ends up winning. Especially in the last maybe 4 or 5 years.
No, I'm not going to take that. You can't just low-key diss us and be like, we are the worst team and that's why we won. No, we spiked.
That's what happened. That we were the worst team last season.
We went too beautiful.
I don't think we're that bad of a team. I just think you guys are really that bad.
No. Maranol. Okay. We stay humble. No, Arsenal played really well.
We didn't play. Okay. Partey as a player is still I still rate him really well, but whatever he did that game was not working. Like he was mishandling passes, he was letting you guys run past him. Like it was just a really, really poor game. Probably the worst game Partey's had, which is funny because one of the best games he's had was the last game he played against you guys.
I think he missed Lokonga next to him.
I think El Neni had an amazing game, but that's the thing is like. We unfortunately we didn't have that creativity in the midfield as well. Like Odegaard was playing okay until he made one of the Xhaka's mistake you could.
Well, he scored, right? It's all right.
He scored, but like
dude, El Nene is just Egyptian McTominay, man. That's all he is.
I thought McTominay had a good game, to be honest. I thought
they're all runners. That's all they do. They're like long distance runners, side to side passing. That's it.
On the Arsenal
I'll let you finish. On
the Arsenal front, I'd say maybe 3 players could hold their head up high. Everyone else, like Aubameyang for the last, I don't know how long, has just been like the worst player on the team. He doesn't give you anything. That pass, like Martinelli ran through your entire team, lays one up to Aubameyang.
The entire team. He got past 2 players, but carried.
He ran past like 5 players. I say you're. I don't know what replays you're watching, but like you missed a lot of stuff in this game. But he lays it up for Oba, and he has the softest. He's like, here you go, De Gea. And De Gea had a great game, I think, outside of like him just dropping to the floor.
The first goal. Yeah, then the first goal. That's it.
He had some incredible saves. Like the goal from Odegaard, it was really hard. He had no vision on that. He was on the other side of the goal. Outside of that, he had some incredible saves. And I think same thing for Ramsdale. I think he had a lot of really good saves. The worst attempt was him moving early on the Ronaldo penalty. I think like Ronaldo just broke him in that pen. But him, Martinelli, Tomiyasu, those are the guys that I can say can hold their head up.
Martinelli had a very good game. Martinelli.
Those are the guys from our side. I think on your side, Ronaldo, obviously, bro. A lot of the Portuguese-speaking players had a really good game.
My striker for the team of the season. My striker for the season.
Fred had a good game.
Yeah.
Fred had a Jekyll and Hyde game, so I'm not gonna say he had the best game, but like he played really well.
He really put his foot in the game.
Literally. No, honestly, yes, he had a bad start, but if it wasn't for him, almost 3 goals wouldn't be there. One for De Gea, where he fouls De Gea, the pass to Bruno, the assist to Bruno, and then the penalty. So I think he had a hand in all the 4 games. So I think he had a good game, honestly, from my side. I don't think Ronaldo had a great game. He just finished his chances. He did work.
Ronaldo had a Ronaldo game.
Yeah.
Ronaldo had a Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, go ahead. Is that all? Is that all, Kunaal?
No, I have a little more, but I think just we let you too much into the game, because if you look at the stats too, and you even saw the attempts, like it was a very, very close game. It could have gone either way. But I thought that we shouldn't have taken the foot off the gas, because it started off like, how many corners did we have in a row? Like that, just back to back to back to back to back. And then we just sat back. Like the team just sat back. I think you were there for the taking, and we just didn't do it. And I think that's something that they need to do moving forward, is actually like keeping that foot on the gas. Because you can't let a team that has a Ronaldo, has a Bruno Fernandes, has I guess
Sancho, Rashford, Martial.
Fred.
You
Tellez,
Fred,
Dallo.
Actually, Tellez had a decent game too. Like he had a lot of recoveries that were important. But you cannot take the foot off the gas with a team like that, regardless of where you are mentally, positionally. You can't let that off, because you just open yourself up. And I think in a very similar way that Chelsea fans feel they let the foot off the gas against West Ham, we did the same thing, I think. And
we never had the foot on the gas. We just didn't manage it well. We just
we just didn't. Also, we didn't take our chances. Like again, Oba he needs to be dropped from the team right now.
That's why you guys needed a striker. The reason he's being afforded all this laziness is because there's nobody to push him in his position. If he had someone that was going to take his spot, his game would have upped.
I think I would even put Martinelli.
Tragic Scott, man. That's who he is. Tragic Scott, man.
Man. Two seasons. Him and Martial just fell off at the same time.
Whoa! Listen, look at whoa! Martial, la.
Like, I don't understand.
Because I've known
you. Still playing in the Premier League. I don't understand.
I've known you for 2 months now. I've known you for 2 months.
Obama who? Obama who, man?
He's got a cool name.
Obama missing shots right now. Okay, I can't. I
don't man.
Okay.
Tony just got high off his own supply, and now he's lost, man. I don't know if Martial.
Okay, anyway, I know you guys have a lot to say that it's probably going to be opposing everything I've said. So, floor is both.
I'm just going to put SHEGZ on mute now. Mute.
Look, SHEGZ. Yeah. Let me kick this off. I think that was a very strong game for Manchester United. I think we showed what we can do. I feel like, I know Carrick said that,
Liverpool scored, by the way. Sorry.
No, fuck! In the flipping 90th minute, man. What are you saying?
I'm just about to see the goal. Oh, am I?
Garbage,
My stream is late.
Garbage.
My stream is late.
Garbage,
anyway, back to the Arsenal destruction. We can't focus, guys.
SHEGZ is ready. SHEGZ is.
So essentially, I think you guys. I thought it was, for me personally, I thought it was really bad sportsmanship. For the first goal. I feel like he shouldn't have shot.
Why?
I just think like it's just bad vibes. And the moment he did bad vibes, I knew he was going to mess it up for himself. And I wrote this in our group chat. That's a great goal. And I wrote in our group chat, I said, look, we are going to win this game because bad vibes never win. And Arsenal is bad vibes. You guys are bad vibes. You guys want bad vibes.
Can I respond now, or do you want me to?
No. You can wait at the end. You can wait at the end. If you bring the bad vibes, you catch all the L's, all of them. Not just one, not two. You get 3 L's.
I disagree, though.
Start with SIU. So that's what happened to you guys.
Or like boo. Screw that.
But, I mean, you can say what you want. The whole stadium said "Sew." But look, I actually do think Arsenal have a good side in them. And I think you were just unfortunate because you lost to the better team on the day, and every other day. But it's just, look, I think we played to our potential. I think you can see what Rangnick is going to start to do, his effect on the team, because we were pressing you guys higher than, I've never seen us press so high. Like we're actually pressing so high that Maguire had shots. Do you understand what's happening? Like Maguire doesn't have shots. He doesn't, because we're normally defending so far back. But now he was actually in a position where he could step up, like Rudiger. He was doing that same thing. It was a strange, beautiful game, beautiful thing to watch. But look, I think you guys are a great side. I think, again, similar to how you lost to Liverpool, you just lost to the better team. I mean, not about the same margins, but you know, it is what it is. But I also think you guys really had no idea how to cope with the way we were playing. I think you guys were completely shocked. It felt like, I think you expected United to play a certain way, and we came with a different work ethic, and it just broke you guys. You had no clue. Like you said, in your midfield, I think you guys missed Lokonga, because I think him and Partey play really well together. I think without Lokonga, Partey was doing his own thing, and El Neni was doing his own thing. So it felt like El Neni was trying to play like the what's called like a sitting CDM, and then I don't know, Partey was meant to do the running. It was just weird. So I think your midfield was just, they had no idea.
Partey was given too much opportunity. Like he's a decent passer, but Lokonga, for as young as he is, like he's really good with his feet, and he has that, like, he bombs forward. I think with Partey, when he was just missing passes, like the easiest passes. I mean,
yeah, like
a 4-foot pass, he just gave it away to United. So, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and Tamagotchi gave that kid Tomiyasu. He gave no space to Sancho. You know, he did really good defending Sancho, because Sancho tried to nutmeg him and tried to run around him. Yeah. I mean, he got around him a few times, but in general, he made it very, very difficult for him to play. I think Ben White showed his true Ben Whiteness. I think he just, look, as I've always said, he was starting to grow on me, I'll be honest with you, because I saw some good performances, but then he met like a good forward, and he just showed that he's unfortunately, I still don't believe in him, because I don't believe a centre-back should be his height, unfortunately. I think he's just too short to be a centre-back. Yeah, that's my...
How tall is he? What's his...
He's like 180, 182. For like a centre-back.
He's like under 6, I think he's under 6 foot.
Yeah, we're just like in the Premier League, where you've got guys who are like 6'5", 6'6", playing centre-back. Ben White trying to do that. He's too lightweight. Like against Antonio. Have you guys played West Ham yet?
No, we're in for
I think when you do, Antonio's going to bully the crap out of him. I think Antonio's going to absolutely break him. Gabriel was solid, as always. Martinelli, he is a surprise package. That boy is...
Newcastle got the first win of the season, yeah?
Sorry?
Yeah. Newcastle got their first win of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So yeah, you know, I really do think you have a really strong player in Martinelli. Really, really strong player. Really, really, really strong player. And I think you guys just, unfortunately, like you said, Obama Blanco did nothing. Like we felt no pressure from him. We felt nothing. No. He even had a few shots where, you know, a top class striker would have done better. he didn't. He just, I don't know. He just seemed off. I think you're right. He needs to be dropped. I think we need. I think you guys need to try Laka, but Laka, it just doesn't seem to perform when he plays alone up front. Either.
He's not a good like. You need your strikers to take shots, and unfortunately, for the last 2 seasons, Oba and Laka just haven't even trying to take shots. I'd push Balogun right now or someone like him because we need to bring someone in the winter window. We can't. You can't be a striker, and the same thing with Chelsea. I guess like you can't have your forwards missing all these opportunities that fall to their feet. You can't do that.
Which is why you guys need a real striker like Ronaldo.
I would kill for Ronaldo, man. Like
Of course you would.
I've never said anything bad about Ronaldo. I just said someone's better than him. That's not the insult.
But no, it was actually a really, really good game. I was really entertained. It felt like a throwback to the games of the 90s and early 2000s.
I don't agree with that, because listen, it was an entertaining game. However, the standard of the game wasn't the same as if you watched like a 100%. Chelsea versus Liverpool or Liverpool versus Manchester City. I think it was I'll be honest with you, 2 teams playing ball and the team with better players won. That's what I felt this game was.
Is what you mean?
That's what it was, honestly. I didn't think it was like Arsenal started the game very well. I think Arteta has got them guys very, very organized. They had a very good shape at the start of the game. We were struggling to get into the game. The first 20 minutes, obviously, they were in control of the game. They got that goal, obviously. However, they didn't do anything after that. As you said, Kunaal, they didn't press. I think that was their time to press.
Exactly.
Then what changed? Exactly. Because you guys were in control for the first 20-25 minutes. You all had 8 corners in total. And I think during that period, you had approximately
like
4
5.
corners. And 4 corners. And you all didn't do anything, which I give Maguire a lot of stick. He won a lot of those headers. And our defense really won a lot of those headers. So, I mean, credit to them because I give him a lot of slack. But y'all didn't continue. That was your period to do something. And then literally out of nothing, right before the end of the half, we scored that goal. Sancho to, I believe, Fred, who makes a run inside, who had a shocking first half. And literally right before the end of the half, he provides the assist that gets us back into the game. And from that moment on,
pass as well, by the way, no look pass. He was looking straight ahead and just passed it. It was amazing.
Back kind of with his left foot. Yeah, I mean, come on, man, he's Brazilian, man, and that's why people need to put respect on Fred's name. Honestly,
I think that's what he does normally. He doesn't look. He just passes, and this one just ended up.
Hey, allow it. Hey, Kidwai. Listen, no. I get it. Listen, this guy gets a lot of slander, but what people don't realize, he plays with a player like McTominay, all right? Sometimes the players you play around make you look even bad. And I mean, you can see the same thing, but you can say the same thing for your, like, maybe someone Sao. I just think he gets a lot of slack. My main point, I think he gets a lot of slack from the fans because of he's expected so much in that role. He's expected to win the ball back, to make a forward pass, and he's expected to make the long passes. That's not his game. His game is
he's playing for Manchester United, so the expectations come with it. They're part of the job.
Exactly. So what about Scott McTominay's expectations? Everybody.
That's why everyone says McFred. No one says McTominay. I said it's McTominay. It's always McFred. It's always
McFred, but if you put somebody else, that's what I'm saying. Now under Ragnick, when every player plays their role.
Say that name again, please. Say that name again.
Lord Ragnick.
Say that again.
Lord Ragnick.
I prefer
Ragnick.
Next Avengers movie is coming.
Quickly on Ragnick. Do you guys have any question marks over, like, Ragnick in terms of, like, because when Bielsa came in, there was so much hype about him, right? Myself included, like, because I followed the championship when the year they won because it was Frank Lampard's first season there, and he was exceptional. Right, but then he comes into the Premier League, and his ideas and his philosophies look so old compared to the modern game, where he has only this one style of play, and he doesn't adjust based on other teams and like what you expect from a Premier League team, right? So as United fans, like I know you're excited with his whole gegenpress or whatever you call that, right? So do you guys have any question marks or any concerns as to like how that implies to like modern football, or like will he be able to adapt his style based on the teams he plays with in the Premier League?
And
you want to go for a SHEGZ?
Can I just add something to that so that you can answer together? There's a lot of hype around him coming and how he was the mentor for like Tuchel and Klopp, and he's done a great job with Stuttgart, bringing them to the champion. To the Bundesliga, Hoffenheim as well.
Schalke, Hoffenheim.
Schalke, right, exactly.
Salzburg,
and he's done a great job at Leipzig. He wasn't the manager there, but he's done a great job with them too, making them into like regular Champions League team.
Yep.
My only question is, all that was done, why wasn't he looked at by any of the big teams? I know they said that Chelsea looked at him for a temporary job for 4 months, which he didn't want. Fair enough. My question is, if he was that good and he was that great, why weren't there more teams vying for Rangnick before? Because I don't know how many of us knew who Ralph Rangnick was before this whole United saga. I don't think a lot of people knew who he was before this United.
Actually, I got one more question to add to this too. Sorry, once you're done.
Jeez, man.
Of course, you got a lot of questions.
Man, let me take notes real quick. I need a pen, man. Jeez, man, what's going on? Let's go.
How do you feel? How do you feel about them already accepting that's just going to be a 6-month role, and then he's just going to be within the team somewhere?
Okay. We'll start from the beginning. I can start tackling with the first questions. I think
Burton.
Yeah, with Bert's questions. I think Rangnick is the man for the job. If I'm really honest, I think in terms of him adapting, I think before I even tackle him, I want to talk about Bielsa. I think you can't go from the Championship to the Premier League and not get Premier League standard players. So he's playing with a lot of a Championship team.
Substandard.
Yeah, like they can't fulfill what he needs. Like the passes are wayward, and on top of that, Bamford's been injured, his main striker. Like it's just he's having to deal with a lot. Right now.
He's turning water into wine, basically.
No, but they did bring in players. It's just a matter of his philosophy.
System,
the players that fit his system, right?
No.
They bring in
I feel like
but
doesn't come with a plan.
But sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just feel like Bielsa doesn't come in with a plan B. He's just got like one style of play, and irrespective of who he's playing, he's going to play that same way. I don't see a lot of changes from him.
Yeah. So I think the argument is, one, he's inflexible, but some would argue that flexibility is also a curse. If you look at what what's his name, Pep Guardiola does in every final, that screws him up every single time. So it's I think there has to be some balance, and I think there has to be some steadiness. Or if you look at Tuchel, he doesn't change his formation. He doesn't change his. I mean, he's changed it, like he tweaks it a little bit, where he goes to 3-5-2 with the 2 strikers instead of 3. He changes that, but it's not a huge change. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Bielsa. I think he just doesn't have the players. And look at the guys he signed. Rafinha is doing bits. James looks like he's been reborn. So it's just sort of, they don't have the money to buy the players that could fulfill what they need to do. So now going on to Ralph, I think Ralph can handle the pressure because he's done it at all these clubs. If you look at Red Bull Leipzig, I know, and it's going to lead to Ahmed's questions, where Chelsea, like you said, went for him. But I feel like his mentality is that he is more of a, a football director, a technical, what do they call them?
Sports director. Sporting director.
Sporting director rather than a coach. I mean, he'll coach if he has to get his ideas across, get things working. But he wanted to be a sports director, which is why he's got a 2-year contract. He doesn't want to be a coach. So I know you said that we haven't really seen him, but look at his teams. Like Leipzig, he literally took Red Bull Leipzig. They got back-to-back promotions because of him. He took them straight from the 3rd division to the Bundesliga, and then
he was a coach though.
Yeah.
He was a coach.
That's what I'm saying. Then he was a coach, and then he went to the board and he did all of that. So he's actually he's pretty sick. And then the final one from Kunaal.
Quickly. So
you kind of answered that.
Leipzig play his style of football regardless of who the coach was?
Yes. That's amazing.
So is that what is going to happen at United? That United are going to play his style of football regardless if they bring in Pochettino or they bring in Ten Hag?
Exactly. So basically, can I just add to that, SHEGZ? So basically, I mean, even if you saw this is like a two-part answer. So Ralph Ragnick during the presser was asked about Ronaldo because there was a lot of questions on, what are your thoughts on Ronaldo? Because people are saying, you're not going to have it in your system. And he clearly answered, as a coach, I need to adapt to the players who are in my team. And that's a smart coach. Do you see what I mean? All the good coaches will always figure out a way of how to get the best out of the players. And for him to say that after 2 years ago, basically he had said, you know what, I don't think Ronaldo or Messi run enough to be in my Salzburg system. However, when he spoke about him in the presser, he's like, listen, this is Ronaldo. So I need to make sure my philosophy needs to be adapted to get the best out of him. And that's something that I say, you know what, I'm not really worried about Ralph. And the second answer to, am I worried about him as a coach? Listen, I remember Ralph when it was in the Champions League. I think it was a semi-final, and Manchester United played Schalke. And I believe Manuel Neuer, that was his, he was in that team, if I'm correct. But he had taken a nobody, a Schalke, to the semi-finals in the Champions League that year. I can't remember the exact year it was, but I remember him playing that year. But even he mentioned it on his presser that he met Sir Alex Ferguson after that game and they shared a cup of wine. So I'm not worried about him as a coach. If he's able to do it consistently and his coaches who are working in the modern system are able to adapt to the system, I have no concerns about that. And secondly, I think our players are smart enough, right? It's not like we have bad players. We just need players who are being told and coached where to go, where to move. And that's why even on his presser, where he said, we're going to do a lot of video analysis because I cannot do a training program or make them run to increase their fitness. And he did say, listen, I mean, watching the game against Arsenal, I thought the players were pretty fit, especially Ronaldo for being 36. His work was really good. So I'm really happy with the players. But what I can do in the next 2 days is strengthen their minds. And what we're going to do is watch videos, analyze what we could have done better. Because one thing he said consistently in his press conference was control. We need to control the game. The game should be played. He wants to play a lot higher to the opposition box than in our box. It's just these little things that he can say in the presser that makes me feel, we got a good one over here. Do you see what I mean? When you talk about control and not about just passion and desire. I mean, he said, listen, for all of you guys might have liked the game, but for me as a coach, it was really hard because no one had control of the game. It could have gone either way. It could have actually gone Arsenal winning it or Man U winning it. And luckily for us, we won it. And he's absolutely right. That game could have gone either way because there was no control. And he's like, my goal is to build that control. And he also mentioned we have been conceding at an average of 2 goals every game, which is not that good. And he said, what I noticed in all the games against Liverpool, against Man City, we're playing too close to our box. And that's why we're conceding goals. So my goal is to make sure I am strengthening our players' minds, playing higher up the pitch. And his football philosophy is attacking football, playing up the field. Obviously, with the ganging press is a high press, but winning the ball high and scoring. They have a timer. Basically, one of his training is they have a timer where they have 10 or 13 seconds to win the ball back. And after they win the ball back, they have 13 seconds to score a goal on the counter. That is one of his specific trainings. So I'm looking for that heavy metal, aggressive, win the ball back, high intensity football. And trust me, Fred is going to bang out in this system. Trust me, just mark my words. Okay. Fred is going to look so different in this system. But that's my thoughts on Ralph.
So yeah, that's great.
Funny thing about Fred, though, to me is he's either unplayable or unplayable, if you know what I mean. Like there's days where you're like, holy shit, this guy can really, really ball. And there's days where he has like a mare of a game and just, gives up makes the dumbest mistake.
Absolutely.
And that's to kind of what you're saying, who he's playing next to, because he's kind of has to, when he plays next to Pogba or someone, he has to kind of set up and be that defensive player. And he's pretty small, so sometimes it's hard for him to make up for, against a bigger striker or something coming at him. But he does, as much fun as I make of him, he definitely, any Brazilian player in my opinion has a skill to be like a top level player.
I just have one question on Ralph. He's got a 6-month contract, right? Does
6 months interim role? Yes.
Yes, interim role.
Months coaching, 2 years in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's if he's not given a permanent contract, permanent coaching contract.
Not if he's, no, basically, how this works is he's going to come in for 6 months.
Yeah.
He's going to be involved in our next manager. He has a 2-year consultancy.
Yeah, he has a 2-year consultancy
He
role.
could be the next coach. He could be a coach.
Yeah, exactly. That's my question.
Exactly.
He could be given a coach position instead of a consultant position. Okay. Yeah,
he can say, listen, I really want to take this coaching job because I think I want to be ahead. Unless he's happy with someone like, who he wants to set up the system, and then the next coach follows the system. As SHEGZ said, a sporting director, that's the line we're going through. But he could even be our coach post these 6 months.
Yeah,
you
that's
see what I mean?
That was my question.
But
if he could still be coach.
Yeah, and the confidence I have in him is he's a football mind. Finally, Manchester United have made the right decision of having a football mind. And Kunaal, last thing, just to answer your question about Fred, a coach needs to know how to use Fred. Fred's role should just be winning the ball back and passing it to the creative players. And this has always been my big problem with Ole and Carrick. They're trying to make Fred something that he's not. Fred is a destroyer. He's a ball winner. He's a high energy, high intensity player. So you don't need him to be getting all the long balls, passing it wide. But if you had somebody like a Pogba or a Donny van de Beek, when he wins the ball back, he gives a 5-yard pass, right? He's good in close control, but he's not good with the long balls. If you saw yesterday, a lot of the misplayed passes was some crazy long balls he's trying to play. That's not his game. A coach needs to use Fred, keep him as just that guy who wins the ball back and passes it to the playmakers. But what problem we have? Our playmaker, Bruno Fernandes, is running right behind the striker. That's the problem. Do you see what I mean?
The thing is,
you don't have coaching for that.
Yeah, you're even missing Pogba, who's one of the key players who makes those long passes. So without him, Fred has to do that job because nobody else besides maybe Bruno is putting in long balls. Who else is putting in?
But that's what I'm saying. McTominay is supposed to be doing that. And what does McTominay do? Back passes. Most of McTominay's passes are either sideways or back because he's not a passer. And this is the problem I've always had. There's no balance. But the coaches love it. And if you see that, we were talking about McFred. Ole left. This guy still used McFred. You see what I mean? And that's my problem. And that's why I am hoping maybe this coach comes in and turns McTominay into a different player where he'll say, McTominay, listen, instead of passing the ball back, look at this forward pass you can make, because that's what he wants. He wants forward passing. He wants the ball to be away from our defensive end and higher up the field. So we could see a whole different bunch of players. Listen, I know it's not going to be like immediately, possibly. If it is, I'll be happy. And the only reason I feel it'll be immediate because I think we have a good squad. I just think they need to be told what the hell they should be doing because Bruno is doing whatever he wants to do. All our players are not working cohesively. And I think once they work cohesively, we're going to be a problem, man. Trust me. We are going to be a problem.
Do you think?
I just want to add. I just want to add a little bit to that. I think United has a lot of serial winners. You can't have a team with Pogba, Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, and not play aggressive front foot football. Because
exactly.
all they was trying to was it was a real mess. I think even mentality wise, it was a mess.
Yep.
And I think Ragnick has actually been coaching for the last 2 weeks, even more.
Mm-hmm.
I know Carrick had to come out and say because
it's 2 days. No. I don't think it's 2 weeks. I think it was only 3 or 4 days.
I actually maybe, but I know the last game particularly. That was not.
Didn't he just get his work permit? And
that's
officially he couldn't work.
Oh, okay. Behind the scenes. Okay.
Yeah,
phones, Zooms, all that stuff's available for us.
So like publicly.
No, but he would not have dropped Ronaldo, man. No way. I don't think.
Hold on. Trapped Offside for his video analysis.
Exactly. I actually think he's actually been involved at least from the Arsenal game because the way we played against Arsenal. We have never ever played like that. We've never pressed ever.
I think we have. I think we have. SHEGZ.
The Arsenal game wasn't like wow, amazing out of the world.
Sorry, Kunaal. It actually wasn't amazing. But if you looked how far forward we were playing.
Yeah.
Where
There was
Fred
more
was
positivity.
pressing and winning the ball. Fred doesn't press and win the ball in like the opposition half.
Only thing
Never.
I saw Fred pressing was David De Gea's leg, but yeah, that's a different story. And that goal should have counted SHEGZ.
I think that was because that's because Arsenal were playing deep. I think that's the problem. Like Arsenal were playing deep, they're playing out the back. That's why we were higher up the field. Oba wasn't a threat. Smith Rowe wasn't a threat. Only Martinelli was a threat. So the problem with Arsenal was their attacking line was actually really bad. That was the problem. That's why we look good. That's why we look good.
Exactly what I was going to say, because every game where we've gone up a goal, we have let on that press. And we've just let teams batter us and just have all these shot attempts and passes in our box. It's really bad. And the biggest problem to me was Ben White is good at a lot of things. He is one of the worst clearers of the ball I've ever seen, because that clearance that he had that went to I think it just went straight to Fred, or went to who was on the right at that time, but it just went straight to someone and they were able to pass it into the box, and then there was just an easy tap in goal at that point. So I think
Dallo to basically you know about the second goal? Is that the one? Dallo passed it to Rashford?
I think it was Dallo to Rashford to Fred to Bruno?
No. Sancho. That was the first goal.
No,
Sancho to Fred.
It was the first goal.
Yeah, Sancho to Fred, Fred to Bruno, basically. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. He's not a good one-on-one defender. He's a good cover defender. Like he's good at if Gabriel wins the ball, he can pull up the scraps and clear it or whatever. Sure. But not that's what I'm saying.
And he does those runs into the opposing half for whatever reason. Like I would honestly, it would be funny to bring in Saliba from France, because he's on loan right now. Bring him in and then put Ben White as a CDM. I think he'll be actually pretty solid in that role. But
I think that, or in a back three for Ben White. Personally.
Yes.
I think
do that
one of those
David Luiz type.
Exactly, because I see him like a Thiago Silva.
Everybody wants him to.
If I'm not mistaken, he did play in a back three at Brighton and at Leeds under Bielsa.
Exactly. So I think he needs that support, and then you can really see how good he can actually be. Just to take it back to Ralph, I think United have done similar to what Maranol said. We've done the right thing, and I think it should pay dividends for the long term. And I'm really excited and I'm hopeful for what football's going to play. And I think when Pogba comes into that team, I'm interested to see.
Yeah,
because
we're going to look different, boys. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Because Pogba could either. And I think when Pogba comes back, I think might need to be a bit of a change.
Eligible to play tomorrow? His 3 games are done, or the ban?
It's been done for a bit, right? And he's injured.
No. Isn't he injured? He's injured.
He's injured.
He's
injured.
How did he get injured?
Yeah,
at France.
He had a thigh injury.
The video. In training, he got injured.
Yes, he had a thigh injury. Last thing, Kunaal, just for you, one problem that I had with Arteta was actually his subs. Okay.
Horrible subs, man. Horrible subs.
I don't know why he bought Eddie Nketiah, who has not wanted to sign a contract extension, and kept Pepe on the bench. As much as banter I give Pepe is very productive whenever I've seen him in Arsenal.
Against United too.
Exactly. He's played really well. Because I remember last time he had Luke Shaw on strings. I mean, I'm not saying he was fully, but he was really giving us problems down the right side. Right side when he played against Luke Shaw, across 100%. The left, whatever. But why was he not played?
Is he a striker though? No, isn't Eddie a center forward?
Eddie's a center forward. But the thing with Pepe is he is the best finisher on the team in my opinion. He's better. Yeah, he's a better finisher than Oba. He's a better finisher than Lacazette, and he actually takes
everyone's better than Oba. Right now.
He's still
right now. Current form, yeah.
I don't remember any.
After the new contract, whoever gets new contracts, they just
on Arsenal never give someone over 30 a new contract. That should be the deal from now on. But no, I 100% agree with you. Some of the subs that he made were so counterproductive. Taking off Emile Smith Rowe was, I think, a big mistake. Oba 100% proved he was the worst player on the team. In that game. And you kept him on until pretty much 75th minute. It's just it's too weak-minded, and that's the thing that I find with Arteta is he's not a ruthless manager. He's ruthless when I don't know your players do something stupid in the locker room, but he is not ruthless on the pitch. And you need to I personally, I respect United. I respect all of these teams so much. But if you're a football manager, you can't give them respect, because once you give them respect, they walk all over you.
The one last thing, sorry, Kunaal, is I think Arteta has got you guys really, really organized, but I think he's trying to play Pep style ball with almost, you'd say, like mid-table team players. I think I don't think your squad is that good. I'll be honest with you. I think, and actually, I know 3 weeks ago it looked different with Lokonga, but I don't think you'll have the depth. And I think Jithin had mentioned that, or was it somebody else had mentioned that they don't have a good squad depth. I don't think you have a good squad to play the type of product. Tavares is just a runner. I noticed. I thought he was like proper, but like watching the past few games, I think he's just a runner. He's not better than Turney. I don't think you have depth at left back position. Right back position, okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I think
no, for me then.
I don't think we have depth at right back.
I don't think you have depth anywhere right now. I mean, in your attacking positions, I think that's your biggest struggle right now is your attacking position. And I think your Arteta is trying to make you all play a style of football that your players are not really able to. It's not cut out for you. And I think that's the problem, because your guys actually looked like a proper squad. I was like, in the first 20 minutes, I was like, oh, it's going to be a long day. We might lose 2-0. And then all of a sudden, intensity dropped. And then again, it picked up. Then it dropped. It's like your players don't know when to get the intensity up. I don't know whether that comes down to the coaching or the coaches not telling them or what. And also at those times, you need your senior players when you have that much youth in your team to step up.
That's very important.
Partey, Oba, your senior players, nothing much from them.
Worst game.
Exactly. And they were your worst players. One of your youngest players, Martinelli, was one of your best players. So what can you do? What can you do? That's a negative impact on the team.
I disagree with the depth thing. I think we have a lot of squad depth, and it'll show kind of once AFCON starts. And
you have the depth, you don't have the quality in depth.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have the quality. I don't believe so.
But beyond that, your 11 cannot compete like that. This is what I was saying about even like the playing from the back against the big teams, against these for 90 minutes. When you come up against these teams, you guys struggle a bit. Like against the lesser teams, you guys dominate them, and you guys.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that. Yep.
I don't know if you saw some of the passing at the back. Like to me, passing at the back was the most comfortable thing I saw. And even when guys were coming in really close, like they were very good on the ball to get the ball out of there.
Exactly. And that's why it comes down to quality then.
Yeah, no, the problem is that midfield pivot quality is very poor, and then the finishing is really bad. I think the ball retention with the guys that we had in the midfield, like Laka, the good thing with him is that he's good at retaining the ball. The problem is Odegaard loses the ball very easily. Partey lost the ball like no one's business, and El Neni, he passes the ball backwards too much. So like when you have that and you keep losing the ball in the midfield, or like Tavares going up and he loses the ball on the left, like you don't have those guys to keep the ball, and that's where you start losing the battles. Like midfield is where you win and lose games most of the time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
we wanted it more, by the way, in the second half. 18
tackles,
18 tackles attempted by us, 10 by Arsenal, 22 duels won by us, 16 by Arsenal. So we were more aggressive in the second half, and we had that intensity, we had the passion to win in this derby, and I think that was what the difference was. That plus our individual brilliance and just general quality in the squad. Just imagine, you subbed Rashford, I believe, and you got in Martial, right? Or was that, no, you subbed Ronaldo, you put in Martial. Lingard came in for Rashford, correct? So like we have that much quality. Donny van de Beek didn't even come in onto the field. Juan Mata was also on the bench. I mean, we have such good depth, and that's, I think, one of the main reasons that you lost.
The thing is, we could have brought in a Pepe. We could have brought in players who are quality, and he brought in, like, again, say what you want about Lacazette. You brought in Lacazette off the bench. You can bring in when Odegaard sits, when like we brought Saka off the bench. We brought we could have.
Who was injured, by the way? Who was injured?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm saying, like, you're talking about depth being poor, but we still have like level. Obviously, we're not there yet fully with depth. Like, it's not another. We don't have a City where your second 11 is almost as good as your first 11. But like, we're building that depth, and once we like bring in a good striker, once we bring in a good CDM, like you can start seeing that depth build more. And it's this team is too young right now. Like, we're building a team for the future. If we end up being top 6 this season, I'll be happy because there'll be
Bro, you guys have been building for 20 years though, man. Other than FA Cups, I mean, you guys haven't won much. But that's what I'm saying. I always hear from Arsenal about building for the future. Man, you guys been building for such a long time. You guys have been doing the top 4. We're like, oh, you know what? Top 4 is the top 4 cup. Now we cannot get the top 4. It's a building process. You know, there should be some consistency of that.
This is for all the Wenger out fans. You can just say what Wenger was doing with that club was
totally. I get what you're saying, but again, look at this is the youngest team in the league. It's a very different story than when we brought in Alexis Sanchez, when we had Ozil, we had all these guys that are like, you know, they're aging. We had one of the oldest teams in the league under the last reign of Wenger. We had one of the oldest teams in the league, and we still had a very old team until very recently when
that goes down to the recruiting in your club. Then the recruiting in your club is bad. Like a proper recruiting team. But I think that's the problem. It's the standards from board up is really bad, and that's impacting your expectations for the team. Because I remember Arsenal being that team before with the Invincibles. Like you couldn't get lower than that. But now we're acceptable. Man, you used to have young kids still playing with the likes of proper veterans. You'd have Emmanuel Petit, you had Robert Perez, Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, Ljungberg. You know, y'all had class players. Y'all had young players into that system. Like Fabregas came in at that time. RVP came in at that time. Carlos Vela also was there, I believe, at one time. Samuel Nasri was there. Like y'all had some good players, but I don't know what has happened after that.
I don't want to think about that because I'm gonna cry. But
no, but you're accepting the fact that it's a process. But that's my.
Well, you have to. You got to be realistic, Maranol. You have to be realistic. You can't live in the past. You got to see.
It's very again. I've been an Arsenal fan for about 15, 20 years, so I've seen all of this, and I completely understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Shut up. I completely understand what you're saying, but this is the first time I'm looking at this team and thinking there's a difference about what we're building. Like in the 2010s, like I knew what this team was, and obviously being in my youth at the time, I was very demonstrative when people start talking about like your team is shit, blah blah blah. But obviously, when you look back at it, as
now you accepted that they're shit.
Yes, you have to realize
retrospectively shit.
This is what we will be saying about this outside in 5 years.
Shut your mouth. No, but like I'm way more realistic, and I kind of understand where you are because you have to be. Otherwise, you're just gonna like be mad at every
your head and
game.
be delusional.
Exactly. That's gonna happen every single time. I'm not saying
anyway, guys, we've gone well over an hour, almost an hour and a half, so we have to wrap things up on that note. United play tomorrow, Arsenal play on Monday, so
3-1 United, 2-1 Arsenal. That's my call. Okay.
But hopefully we see some exciting football from both the teams, and Everton are in shambles, so
I think
we're playing Everton next. Chelsea's playing Everton next.
I'm not sure. I have to check this. I don't know who we play next.
I think Rafa will be the next
Champions
manager
League
sacked.
anyway. There's Champions League and I think so too. I think Benitez is going to be the next one to go. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back again next week for another review and cover Champions League as well. So peace, guys. See you next time.
Peace out.